Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And of course, we're going to discuss lesson number 14, solving inequalities. But before we start, I would just want to make sure that I'm going to give this shout out to the student who asked me to give a shout out to him. So, Gio, you know who you are. This is your shout out. This is the one I promised. And I hope not everyone is going to get jealous or what, but if you want to have a shout out, make sure you have a nickname just like this kid. So without further ado, let us start the opening exercise. So it says here the annual county carnival is being held this summer and will last 5.5 days. Use this information and the other information to answer each problem. You are the owner of the biggest and newest roller coaster called the Gentle Giant. The roller coaster costs $6 to ride. The operator of the ride must pay $200 per day for the ride rental and $65 per day for a safety inspection. If you want to make a profit of at least $1,000 each day, what is the minimum number of people that must ride the roller coaster? Write an inequality that can be used to find the minimum number of people P, which must ride the roller coaster each day to make a daily profit. So we're talking about the daily profit, all right? We have to make sure that it is very, very clear that this 1,000 each day is only for one day. So basically, this 5.5 days, you can use it later, or if there are any other questions and such, of course we are going to use that. But because it's only here just to probably, ask yourself about what 5.5 days mean and all that. But basically, we're not going to focus on that. So we now have, we're going to identify each one of the given. So of course, whenever we are solving inequalities, you have to make sure that you are asking this question. What is the goal of this problem? So of course, the main goal of this particular problem is to get at least $1,000 each day. All right. Now, it says here that the operator needs to pay $200 per day for the ride rental and $65 per day for safety inspection. So this means that this $265 is not just for the whole period that the carnival is around town, but rather it's each and every single day. So it means even before the operator starts or the one who owns the Gentle Giant starts in the carnival, he has to make sure, or he or she needs to make sure that he or she will be paying this $265 each and every day. So we're going to put that. So rental, let's just put it as a rental, which is $200. And of course, for the safety inspection is going to be $65. So basically, it's going to be $265. The owner needs to pay $265 each day. And now the ride cost $6. Now, where are we going to associate this P or this people that we need to talk about? Of course, the most reliable thing or the most closest thing that we can relate the people or the number of people to one of these givens is the number of rides or how much how much the ride costs, because it's the person who needs to pay the particular amount, and that is the only way we can find this given inequality of how many person needs to ride the roller coaster to achieve the goal. So writing an inequality, of course, we're going to multiply 6 and P. All right. Now we got 265. Are we going to add or subtract this 265 from the profit itself? Of course, we need to subtract it. Why are we going to subtract? Because this amount, this 265, is the one that the owner needs to pay already, even without making the profit yet. It means he hasn't earned the money yet in the carnival, but because he wants, or the carnival wants to make sure that the roller coaster is safe, and they are also, earning money from this owner, they need to get it from him, from the owner. So we're going to have negative 265, and then we got the goal of $1,000. Now it says at least $1,000, so it means that is just the minimum. All right, that is just the minimum that we are talking about. So it should be, so it means it should be 1,000 or more. So it means we're going to write the inequality greater than or equal to. So now we can start, or we can now, solve for it. Always remember, you have to make sure that 6p is only on one side of the inequality, just like how we solve equations. So it means we need to remove this negative 265, and of course, by how? Using APE, or addition property of equality. Why did we use addition? Basically because this is subtraction and that is its opposite. So we're going to add 265 here, add 265 there. So we cancel, bring down 6p is greater than or equal to 1,265. Now, what is our next step? Because we only need p, the operation between 6 and p is a multiplication. So therefore, the opposite of a multiplication is a division. So it means we divide both sides by whatever number is in here, which is 6. So we cancel that. Therefore, p should be greater than or equal to, of course, doing the computation, doing the math, and all that, we're going to end up with 210 and 5/6 people. But listen here, there is no such thing as 5/6 of a person. All right, there's no 5/6 of a human. So basically, we need to round it off to like one more point, because if we're just going to use 210, we might not get the goal of 1,000. And by doing the calculations, it's actually just going to be 995. So we're going to use 211. All right, so now let us interpret the solution. So what we're going to write here, the roller coaster needs to have at least, as you can see, I use the word at least there because it's greater than or equal to at least 211 people to gain the target amount of profit of $1,000. Okay, so that is how we're going to interpret the given solution. So basically, you just have to remember that you have to make it precise. You just have to make sure that you know what you are answering, and basically you understand what you did and all of that. Always remember this: if it is asking for you to explain the solution or explain your answer, just pertain to the problem. The problem will give you the question, and you just need to answer that particular question with the one that you gave as an answer. All right, example number 1. A youth summer camp has budgeted $2,000 for the campers to attend the carnival. The cost for each camper is $17.95. So each camper needs to pay $17.95, which includes general admission to the carnival and 2 meals. The youth summer camp must also pay $250 for the chaperones to attend the carnival and $350 for transportation to and from the carnival. What is the greatest number of campers who can attend the carnival if the camp must stay within its budget? So it means we cannot exceed this $2,000 budget. All right. So this 2,000 budget Of course, the 250 and the 350, it should be included in the $2,000 budget. All right. So what we're going to do, of course, write the given. Our goal is not to exceed $2,000, or this is our limit. Okay. We got 250 and 350, which are for chaperones and transportation, respectively. And of course, 17.95 for each camper. So basically, the one that this is the C. So basically, the 17.95 is the one that is associated with the campers that we are talking about. So we're going to have 17.95C, all right, plus 250 plus 350, and then 2,000. So as I said, it is the limit. So it means we cannot exceed that $2,000 limit. So it means it should be less than. All right. But remember this, they have a limit of 2,000. It didn't say that it should be, it didn't say it should be less than $2,000 only, but rather it can be the exact amount of $2,000. Okay. So we're going to have here, we're going to, of course, operate this 250 and 350 first by adding, because that is how we're going to do it. We have to combine like terms first before we do APE, SPE, all of those. All right, so let us add this. So we're going to have 17.95C plus 250 plus 350 is 600. Is less than or equal to, 2,000. Now we can remove the 600 by subtracting both sides of the inequality by 600, and that is what we call SPE. We cancel that, so 17.95C is less than or equal to 1,400. Now dividing both sides by 17.95, of course, that is the DPE. All right. C should be less than or equal to, doing the math, of course, it's going to be 77.99. Now, I made some little mistake earlier, but I rounded it off. But basically, it's just actually asking for less than or equal to 77 campers. Because as they said, I just realized they should stay within the budget. So it should be less than or equal to 77. All right. Because if we're going to round it off, they're going to have 78 people. And of course, doing that, we might have a larger value of like spending like more than $2,000. All right. Number 2. The carnival owner pays the owner of an exotic animal exhibit 650 for the entire time of the exhibit is displayed. The owner of the exhibit has no other expenses except for a daily insurance cost. If the owner of the animal exhibit wants to make more than $500 in profits for the 5.5 days, what is the greatest daily insurance rate he can afford to pay? All right, so for this one, basically we need to know that the 650 will be a constant amount, because this is the only thing that the exotic animal exhibit will be paying for that whole 5.5 days. So it's basically not like the roller coaster that needs to pay $265 every single day. So it's different for this one. So basically it's going to be the 650 as a constant. All right. So let's write there constant 650. Now, it says here, the owner exhibit has no other expenses except for a daily insurance cost. So it means that daily insurance cost was going to be put up into the 650. All right. So insurance, needs to be paid for 5.5 days or 5.5 days. All right. And now the profit that they need to make is $500. Okay, so now doing this, let me just erase that. So we're going to have 650. Okay, now I'm going to subtract 5.5 I as the insurance. And why did I use negative 5.5? It is probably because we are going to represent that as the insurance cost, plus that is the number of days wherein we need to subtract it from the 650 that the owner is paying every single day. And then of course it should be greater than 500, or basically, if you cannot understand it, the insurance should be going with the 650. That's why we are subtracting. So now we can now solve. We are not going to combine anything because there is nothing to combine, but rather we need to eliminate the 650. By what? 650 here is a positive. So it means we need to use subtraction property of equality. So subtracting both sides by 650. So bring down negative 5.5. I do not forget, we are going to include this negative symbol. All right, is greater than negative 150. All right. Now doing that, our next step is of course to remove this negative 5.5. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 5.5. So I is what? Are we still going to use the greater than symbol or inequality symbol? No. Remember this, whenever you are multiplying or dividing by a negative number, any rational number, all right, we need to reverse the inequality symbol. And negative divided by a negative is a positive. 150 divided by 5.5, doing the math, it's going to be 27.27. So basically, you will be getting 27.27, 27, 27, so on and so forth. But because we are talking about money, we only need 2 decimal places. And last but not the least, example number 3. Several vendors at the carnival sell products and advertise their businesses. Shane works for a recreational company that sells ATVs, dirt bikes, snowmobiles, and motorcycles. His boss paid him $500 for working all of the days at the carnival, plus 5% commission on all of the sales made at the carnival. Wow. What was the minimum amount of sales Shane needed to make if he earned more than $1,500? So when we say 5% commission, it means, let's say, I am a salesperson and then I'm going to sell 100 pieces of this particular item that costs $100 each. All right, so it means I'm going to multiply 100 by 10. So it means, by 10, or sorry, 100 times 100. Did I say that right? Okay, let's say it's just $100 per item wherein I need to sell 100 items. So I'm going to the profit, the whole business will gain $10,000. And now if I'm going to get the 5% of that 10,000 by multiplying to 0.05, I'm going to get another $500 in amount. Okay, so now doing this, let us first change this 5% commission into a fraction, which is going to be 5 over 100, which is also the same in decimal, which is 0.05. But I prefer to use this particular fraction. All right, so the $500 is, of course, the constant. All right, and our goal is to get $1,500 or more than $1,500 for Shane. Okay, we're going to clarify this. This 1,500 is for Shane to get that particular amount. So what we're going to do is to find how much is the profit of the owner. So we're going to use, of course, we're going to use the 5 over 100, wherein that is the 5% of the commission of sales. I'm going to represent it as the variable S, plus, of course, the 500, which is the amount that was paid to him, is going to be greater than 1500. All right. So now we remove the 500 because it doesn't belong there. Okay. We cancel that. So 5 over 100s is greater than $1,000. Now, because this is a fraction, all right, make sure that you use the property of inequality, multiplication property of inequality, wherein we need to get the reciprocal of 5 over 100, which is 100 over 5. And we also, of course, multiply that on the other side. So S is greater than. So 1,000 is divisible by 5. So we can definitely cancel that. This will be 1. Of course, this will be 200. And now we can much multiply easier. So 200 times 100 is going to be 20,000. So it means the sales, all right, was $20,000. That was how big the sales was. All right, so I'm going to end there. I really, really hope that you guys um, had a very good understanding of this last examples for the inequality. And of course, do not forget to to put or to click the like button, and do subscribe to my channel. So I will see you again next time for lesson number 15 and the upcoming lessons. I hope you guys have a great night. Bye. Peace out.